Hello everyone, I'm Lindsay Swartz.
And I'm Haley Mills.
And welcome back to HEL News.
Today, we will be discussing the Venezuelan Revolution.
The revolution began when Venezuela declared independence from Spain all the way back in 1811. This revolution started because the Peninsulares and Creoles wanted more freedom to trade.
Even the lower classes, such as mestizos, Native Americans, and African slaves, had reasons to be independent. Anyone who wanted to have equal social, political, or economic status would want their freedom.
Now, an exclusive interview with Simón Bolívar.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Oliver Angel, and today I have the honor of talking to the Venezuelan revolution leader, Simón Bolívar.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born in 1783 in Venezuela. I became intrigued by the Enlightenment ideas of Locke, Montesquieu, and Rousseau when I went overseas for schooling in my younger years.
Fascinating. Tell us about your leadership in Venezuela.
In 1813, I marched my army into Caracas. I led them in a brilliant fight against both the Spanish troops and the Venezuelan royalists.
What came from this conquest?
I was able to reconquer western Venezuela. I was called the Liberator for my success. I was even able to turn Venezuela into a republic.
Tell us about when the Spanish took back Caracas from you.
Yes, in 1814, the Spanish did try and take away my victory, but fear not, because I, of course, was able to retake it back. In 1817, I was able to take Venezuela right back from the Spanish.
Who helped you with this victory?
The Llanos and European veterans supported me during this fight.
And what resulted from this revolution?
I was made the president of Venezuela.
Thank you so much for your time, Simon. And now back to Haley and Lindsay in the studio. That was Simón Bolívar, a Venezuelan revolutionary leader. I'm Harriet, and I will be informing you on the parts of his life that Bolívar did not mention. Simón Bolívar studied in his young years in Venezuela. After his wife's death, he went to Europe, where he had been born, and met Napoleon Bonaparte, a leader who had taken over after the French Revolution. In 1807, Bolívar returned back to Venezuela. He was part of a resistance that fought against Napoleon, who was now trying to take over Spain. Napoleon appointed Joseph Bonaparte as King of Spain in Spain's colonies, which included Venezuela. His resistance group won independence for Venezuela in 1810. Once again, Bolívar returned home to Europe and became involved in many battles, with the support of Haiti. In 1821, he created the Gran Colombia, which included Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, and Ecuador. Then in 1824, Simón Bolívar led a revolutionary army of Venezuelans, Colombians, Argentines, and Chileans to victory in the Battle of Ayacucho. Now back to Haley and Lindsay in the studio.
Thank you, Simón and Oliver. Simón, as you could tell, was very passionate about earning Venezuela its independence.
Simón did a great job of informing us of the events that took place during the revolution. But what about what happened before?
As we said earlier, Creoles were fighting for their rights to freely trade.
The Creole population had gained some of their ideas of freedom from the Enlightenment ideas, which had been created not too long before, originating in Europe.
The Spanish crown was ruling over the Venezuelans, restricted these views and would not give the Creoles the freedom to trade as they wanted.
Wow, that's very interesting. Now let's go straight to the live on-screen footage.
Hi, I'm live on the scene of the battle in Venezuela. Excuse me, sir. Would you like an interview?
Of course I would. Oh, no, I got shot in the leg again.
Sir, we're live.
Okay. Good day, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. My name is Lindsay Swartz, and I am broadcasting live with HEL News. We are doing a segment on the Venezuelan Revolution and would like to ask you a few questions. First, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Of course, muchacho. My name is Jose de San Martin. I was born into the Viceroyalty of the Rio de Plata on February 25th, 1778. In most of my younger years, I resided in Spain as an officer in the Spanish Army.
What are some of your greatest achievements?
I pride myself in helping Argentina, Chile, Peru, and Venezuela gain freedom from the treacherous Spanish rule. I also led a rebel voice across the Andes Mountains, organized an expedition to liberate Peru, and established a nationalist government in Chile. I also trained a revolutionary army. I was even offered presidency in Chile, but I turned it down from my good old buddy Bernardo Higgins.
Wow, those are some extraordinary accomplishments. What are you up to nowadays?
Well, I was recently forced to request the help of this military general from Venezuela. You probably haven't heard of him. He's not famous like me.
You mean Simón Bolívar? No way. We just had him for an interview. That guy did so many things.
Not as much as me, though.
He freed Venezuela.
That's barely anything. I freed many more countries.
He is the liberator.
Let's just stop talking about him, okay?
Do you not like him?
I mean, he's a worthy leader, but we have our differences. In my opinion, his views on politics are pathetic. He is irrelevant! Recently, in September of 1822, I made the brave decision to resign from my position in favor of Bolivar. And what's it done for me since then? Nothing! I guess I'll end up, I don't know, moving to France until I die or something. I am so sorry, man, to cut this short, but I really should get back. Enemies! Who is it? You! I'll kill you! I'm gonna kill you first! Oh no, my back! For Venezuela!
Oh no, I'm gonna get fired. Back to you, Haley, in the studio.
Wow, that was a blast from the past. Now let's talk about present-day Venezuela.
The country is falling apart after its old leader, Chavez, died of cancer, and Maduro, Chavez's vice president, took presidency. Maduro is steering the country from a democracy to a dictatorship.
Maduro has led Venezuela to an economic catastrophe, lost swaths of Chavez's committed political base, and become one of Latin America's newest dictators.
Maduro has caused the world's highest inflation, and due to low oil prices and stifling government regulations on currency, Venezuela has huge food and medicine shortages. Because of this, there have been many protests across the country.
Maduro has been postponing state elections in fear of his party getting wiped out of the polls.
Because of the country's collapse, many refugees are seeking neighboring nations and aggravating high crime rates in Central America and the Caribbean.
Oof, Venezuela is going through some rough times because of the new president, Maduro. Now, a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever been sitting on your couch when all of a sudden you get a call into war and don't have a spare musket?
Need you for war.
Ugh, I don't have a musket. Fear not, Quickie Muskets has you covered.
Quickie Muskets has a wide variety of muskets and rifles, ranging from all the way back to the French Revolution. We even have Napoleon's favorite rifle named Big Bertha.
With Quickie Muskets, you just have to select your favorite model and pay a down payment, and you have the weapon for the duration of your war.
We also have limited edition cannons and machine guns.
Come quick though, availability is running out. Buy guns, they're for everyone.
All the information on this website, QuickieMuskets.com, is published in good faith and for general information purpose only. Quickie Muskets does not make any warranties about the completeness, reliability, and accuracy of this information. Any action you take upon the information you find on this website, Quickie Muskets, is strictly at your own risk. Quickie Muskets will not be liable for any losses or damages in connection with the use of our products. While we strive to provide only quality products, we have no control over the content and nature of these weapons. Product owners and content may change without notice and may occur before we have the opportunity to remove a project which may have gone bad.
All the way back in 1811. This revolution started because the Peninsulares and Creoles wanted more freedom to trade.
Even the lower classes, such as Mestizos, Native Americans, and African slaves, had reasons to be independent. Anyone who wanted to have equal social, political, and economic status would want their freedom.
Now an exclusive interview with Simone Bolivar.
Wait, should we wave? Yeah, we should wave at the same time. Should we Creoles wanted more freedom to trade.
Even the lower classes such as, I can't pronounce that.
Mestizos?
Can we cut?
Cut.
I read that, I was like, I don't know.
Political base and become one of Latin America's newest dictators.
Maduro has caused the world's highest inflation, and due to the low...
Inflation, Lindsay. Inflation.
I'm so
We have to give them a turn.
Fascinating. Tell us about your leadership in Venezuela.
In 1813, I marched my army into Caracas. I led them in a brilliant fight. Stop laughing, Lindsay. Ew.